Good morning, USA, and welcome to another episode of the Bernie or Bust Show. Unshaved, unbathed, unedited, and unscripted. We're going back to Kyle Kalinske today. We're going to dig down into the differences between Elizabeth and Bernie for the foreseeable future, because what we've shown in past episodes is that the machine, the Clinton machine, the Third Way, the Center for American Progress, Hollywood, everybody on the team, on the blue team, has swung support around behind Elizabeth Warren. We see it in the United Kingdom. We see how the liberals in the United Kingdom understand that Elizabeth has become the anointed one and not Joe Biden. And so I'll probably on this show not be saying that much about Joe Biden because I don't see him as a threat. I don't see any possibility for him making it all the way through the primary process. I'm trying to be out in front of what's going on for your sake, for voters' sake, to figure out what will end up happening. Trying to be prescient, prescient about what's coming in the future. That was an inside joke, by the way. So being prescient means seeing where the power, where the money, where the influence is betting. And they're betting on Elizabeth. It's clear. Full steam ahead for Elizabeth Warren. And so if Elizabeth Warren is a faux progressive, if she is hawkish, if she speaks out of both sides of her mouth, if she pivots, if she's a whole lot like Hillary Clinton, then it's my job to show you that. And if you make any comments in the comment section and say that it's because I'm a Bernie bro or because I'm sexist, we'll deal with that in the future. But I won't jump there now. But I will jump to Kyle Kalinske, and he is a big help, as is Crystal Ball, as is Tim Black, as is Jimmy Dore, as is Nico House, Graham Elwood, and many others in showing the differences, the key differences between Hillary slash Elizabeth and Bernie Sanders. War. That's where we're going here.
That was awesome. And that was a very, very, very subtle dig at Elizabeth Warren as well, which is exactly the kind of digs I'm in favor of when it comes to her. You got to be a little more careful because she's a closer ideological ally with you than anybody else, okay? And they have done some awesome tag teams against other people, which you love to see it. You love to see it. But you still have to make distinctions between you and her, and that's a really, really powerful one that he made.
The reason I'm showing you this again is because of the power of what he's going to say. I'm going to play more of this clip this time also so that you can really see. And that's why I put this picture down here of Bernie. Victor Tiffany just sent me a message, the OG of Bernie or Bust, that Elizabeth Sanders is Obama-wana. Obama-wana. I don't know if that'll stick or not. We'll try to spread that one around, Victor.
Made without even, rubbing it in, but he's like, I'm the only one up here, man. I'm the only one up here that voted against all of Trump's military budget.
Right.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Exactly.
And by the way, it is infuriating that virtually the entire Democratic Party in Washington, D.C. loves to scream about how, oh my God, Donald Trump is a thin-skinned maniac, lunatic who shouldn't have his finger anywhere near the red button. He's unfit for office. And oh yeah, I'm going to give a $100 billion increase in military spending to him. And I'm going to give him also increased NSA spying powers.
There you go. That's why Tulsi isn't still here, because she's totally against that. If Tulsi is still here, that's great. But it looks like the powers that I'm railing against have pretty effectively taken her out after she pretty effectively took out Kamala Harris. And so what we've got is a sacrificial falling on the sword for the team, because Tulsi didn't count the cost, the political cost. She just went after Kamala, and she did the right thing. You look at what Kyle is saying here. Bernie is the only one, other than Tulsi, that will consistently vote against military budgets, that will consistently be a peace activist. Even if you have some trouble, there are some, I'd say, some mistakes that Bernie has made regarding the military industrial complex. But you're not gonna do better than Bernie for fighting the war machine. And if you look at the people who are upset and are swinging around behind Elizabeth Warren, they're swinging around behind Elizabeth Warren because she has sucked up to Raytheon in her own home state. She's done other things that make the war machine people believe that she will continue the profitability of war.
Half the idiots in D.C. say, Trump is a puppet to Vladimir Putin and he's a Manchurian candidate. And then they turned around and voted to give him more NSA spying powers. So that means you're literally in favor of also giving Putin spying powers, because that's what you say you believe. So they're so full of shit. But Bernie's principled, and he voted against those military budgets because he doesn't believe in them. So I love that. Making the distinction again between him and Joe Biden on the war in Iraq. I never believed Cheney and Bush. Nailed it. Because guess what? What does that show you? Joe Biden, in the heat of the moment, will always do what's politically convenient and easy. And all the pressure was from the establishment to be pro-war, and so he buckled. And he was like very vociferously arguing in favor of that early on.
Yes. So
what happens the next time there's this massive push towards war? You want somebody in there who's objective and who's rational, who's going to go, I don't know about all this. I don't know about all this. So that's why Bernie's just in another league. But the framing of the question pissed me off more than anything, guys. I have to tell you, because he framed it as, what about the vacuum that was created in Iraq when you pulled out? Did you pull out of Iraq too quickly? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Have you stopped beating your
See,
wife?
the framing of that question is pro-war.
Right.
The framing of the question is, hey, isn't it the more reasonable thing? Isn't it the more adult thing to stay in there longer? Or if you do withdraw slower? No, the problem was that we ever went in there in the first place.
Right.
That's the problem. Full stop. End of conversation. You didn't see it in this clip, but later on in this exchange, or perhaps it was earlier on, I don't remember, but it was in the exchange about war. Another question from David Muir was framed from the perspective of, what about the generals? What happens if the generals come in and tell you, sir, it's not a good idea to withdraw our troops? Are you kidding me? We've been in Iraq since 2003. We've been in Afghanistan since 2001. 18 years we've been in Afghanistan. How much longer, David? See, the question pretends as if the generals are just objective arbiters of truth, when they're actually massively political actors.
Right.
And oftentimes they're pro-war when it makes no sense to be. Look at what happened with Vietnam. Generals kept prodding Lyndon B. Johnson and saying, oh, no, we need more troops. We need more funding. We got to stay there. We got to complete the mission. No end in sight. It's the same thing here.
Yes.
When all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Generals are massively pro-war. Go figure. So
Go watch General Wesley Clark. That's one of the best clips ever. If every problem is a nail, then a hammer is always the best solution. He was quoting General Wesley C. Clark there, and that's one of the best clips on YouTube.
It's not like he frames it as if like, what about the generals? Oh, would you listen to the wonderful generals? And the setup is, if you say no, well, aren't you unserious? Like, that's the setup to it. When, of course, it's the exact opposite. The unserious thing is the fucking question. Everything framed from a right-wing perspective, a pro-war perspective, a pro-fiscal conservative perspective. How you gonna pay for it? How you gonna pay for it? Never how you gonna pay for it for war. Did you notice that? Never that. But how you gonna pay for it for anything that helps average people?
I'm gonna link to how you're gonna pay for that. That was a previous Bernie or Bust show, and it's on a different account than the Bernie or Bust television. It's on Alan Howell. So I'm going to link to that one under this video too, so you can understand that question, how you going to pay for that. He just brings that up, and he doesn't explain it, and it takes a long time to explain. So we'll, and I won't go into that right now. I'll just link to a previous episode that talks about modern monetary theory and how you're going to pay for that. All right, that's enough for today. I hope you have a great Tuesday and see you tomorrow.